Hey everyone, and welcome to our channel. Today we will discuss how British-supplied Scalp-EG missiles managed to fool Russian S-400 air defense system. Multiple Telegram channels have shared a video that was captured by a member of the S-400 air defense system crew that was stationed close to the Belbek airbase at the precise moment when Ukraine launched a missile and airstrike using Scalp-EG missiles against the infrastructure of the airbase. There were
Пидор ебаный полетел. Гондон ебучий.
no fewer than 10 Scalp-EG missiles that were intercepted, and electronic warfare could block the GPS correction modules of more than a dozen unmanned aerial vehicles. It is common knowledge that the air defense position region of the western coast of Crimea displayed a high level of efficacy. Two missiles overcame the airport's defenses and infiltrated the auxiliary equipment despite this. In the video, attention can be drawn to the fact that part of the crew took precautions and left the combat control station. At the same time, the illumination and guidance radar 92 and 6 was already directed towards the direction of the missile threat, from which later on, two Scalp-EG missiles are seen flying out sequentially in a low-altitude mode, up to 35 meters, having breached the 5-kilometer dead zone of the S-400 and heading towards the Belbek area. Particularly noteworthy is that launches of 48 and 6 DM SAMs were carried out, at least from two launcher units, 5 P-85C2. When we consider the information presented in the video, we arrive at the following conclusions. The radar, 96L6 or 48Y6K1 Podliat K1, providing target designation for the command post of the S-400 Division 55K6 and for the illumination and guidance radar 92 and 6, detected approaching Scalp-EG missiles within the radio horizon 35 to 37 kilometers. The illumination and guidance radar 92 and 6 was able to timely establish tracks and lock onto those Scalp-EG missiles whose targets were direct elements of the S-400 division. As for refining the infrared portraits of the Scalp-EG missile targets at a distance of about 15 kilometers from the S-400 division, they climbed to a height of 150 meters. Engaging the infrared seeker, at this moment, they were reliably captured by the illumination and guidance radar 92 and 6. At 15 kilometers from the S-400 division, the pair of Scalp-EG missiles flying toward Belbek did not perform the hill mode or vertical rise. Instead, they continued to operate in a low-altitude mode up to a height of 30 meters. As a consequence of this, the illumination and guiding radar 92 and 6, which, once again for reasons that are not known, was not mounted on the Universal Tower 40V6MD to increase the radio horizon to 38 to 43 kilometers, spotted Scalp-EG at the time when they were approaching the dead zone at a distance of around 7 kilometers. Scalp-EG flight routes were created to provide optimum camouflage behind the terrain screen from the antenna patterns of the SAM radar. According to reports, these routes were determined from data collected by RC-135VW strategic reconnaissance aircraft and RQ-4B Global Hawk unmanned aerial vehicles, combined with high-precision topographic maps of Crimea that were made accessible to NATO's headquarters. Consequently, there was essentially no time window left for the Scalp-EG missiles to be intercepted. However, if the dead zone of the S-400 had been covered by an additional platoon of Panzer S-1 or Tor M2U SAM systems, the pair of scalps that would have passed over the heads of the SAM operators would have been intercepted with more probability, and they would not have been able to reach the Belbek airfield. If a flight of Su-35S aircraft equipped with her 74M and her 77-1 air-to-air missiles had been deployed at the time of the attack on combat duty over neutral waters in the western part of the Black Sea, then the French and British cruise missiles would have been easily detected by the N-035 Irbis-E radar and optoelectronic systems OLS-35. The subject of whether or not the S-400 and MiG-31BM were able to intercept the unmanned aerial vehicles Global Hawk and the forceful displacement of the rivet joint while they were performing reconnaissance operations in the Crimean Peninsula is brought to the forefront once more. Otherwise, operators of these machines and specialists in NATO command will continue to simulate low-altitude flight pathways of Scalp-EG missiles, which are becoming increasingly complex and difficult to intercept, and in the not-too-distant future, AGM-158A JASSM missiles that are aimed at Russian targets. Do you think Russian S-400 system's myth of invincibility has been tarnished? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel and share and like the videos.